We'll continue to cover some of our races, and one of the races we're finally getting figures on has to do with the 6th Congressional District. It's a little oddly shaped now. North Cobb, South Cherokee, North Fulton, a little North DeKalb, and West Gwinnett. As you can see right now, the incumbent, Newt Gingrich, is ahead of Tony Center. Of course, 24% of the precincts have been counted. We now go to Tom Regan, who is with Newt Gingrich live, to get his reaction to the race so far.
Monica, this has no doubt been one of the most closely watched House races in the country. A knockdown, drag-out fight between incumbent Congressman Newt Gingrich and his challenger, a relative unknown, Democrat Tony Center. With me right now is Congressman Gingrich. First of all, you must be happy by the numbers that are coming in right now.
Well, so far as I understand, we've carried every precinct that's reported. It is so much better than where we were this summer that I'm really delighted. But I have to say it's because we've had over 1,000 volunteers. We've had tremendous support across the district. And it really is, I think, a grassroots effort to try to make sure this seat stays with a conservative Republican.
You know, there's some people saying that this race is a measure of anti-incumbent sentiment in the country, that with the way the presidential race is turning.
That's accurate. At least in my district, as word got out that I was the guy who filed charges against Jim Wright and forced him to resign, that I had moved to expel a member of Congress who was a convicted felon, I think in this district people began to see that I was a force for change. So I would regard, whereas my opponent was going to vote for Speaker Tom Foley and Dick Gephardt to be the same old gang in charge of the House. So I don't know that in this district the change was anything except an asset to me, even though I was the incumbent.
Well, the last two elections were real squeakers. You can breathe a little easier tonight, I guess.
Yeah, I think all of us, my whole family, is prepared to sort of slow down and relax tonight.
Okay, thank you very much. Congressman Newt Gingrich reporting live from Marietta. I'm Tom Regan, back to you in the studio.
And that's an interesting one, Tom, because the whole country, at least the people involved in politics, have been watching the Gingrich race. He always seems to have a tight one. They were waiting to see if he lost. Apparently, he's doing okay so far. Let's continue our coverage now with a look at some key statewide races. First, the race for a Public Service Commissioner. Let's take a look at how we're doing so far. John Frank Collins is a newcomer in that race. He's a 70-year-old man, and he's running against Bobby Baker, who's the member of the Gwinnett County Planning Commission. And there's a Libertarian as well, Jack Aiken. With 25% of the precincts reporting, John Frank Collins has got 53% of the vote. Bobby Baker, the member of the Gwinnett County Planning Commission, has 37%, and the Libertarian candidate, Jack Aiken, is a financial broker. He came in with something less there. Now for Labor Commissioner, with 25% of the precincts reporting here in Georgia, David Poitras, the Democrat, is considerably ahead so far with a fourth of the votes counted, with 59% of the vote there. Bill Flaherty, a retired businessman, the Republican, has 37%. And Toby Nixon, the Libertarian candidate, has 4% of the vote.
Richard Belcher is covering the key races in Metro Atlanta. He joins us now with an update.
Well, we're going to try to get in as many of these local races as we can. We're going to begin with Cobb County's Commission District number 4, where Freeman Poole is running against George McDonald. Do we have the numbers? I can move on to the next one if we don't have the numbers. We're waiting on the Cobb County. All right, let's go to Clayton County Commission Chairman's race. Tell you what.
I think we don't have the late figures up for you, Richard. So,
well, shall we go back to you folks if we don't have the local numbers?
Let me ask you this: of these key races that you're, well, first of all, here we go.
Cobb County Commission.
Here we go.
District
Cobb County
4.
Commission. We had a very close race. Half the precincts reporting. McDonald, the Republican, is ahead of Poole, the Democrat, 49% of the vote. In the Clayton County Commission chairman's race, about a quarter of the precincts reporting. Crandall Bray, the Democrat, 52%. Nancy Estes, 48%. A very close race. Too early to call anything on that race. In the DeKalb County CEO race, Leanna Leviton running away with it about 2-1 over Tom Cook. Leanna Leviton coming back into office. She has been a commissioner in the past. We're going now to the, well, are we going to take a break
Richard, we have to interrupt you because Ross Perot is about to speak to his supporters in Dallas, Texas, and we want to take that live.